So, tell me about your latest exciting project.
Well, my latest project is called Memory Portal, and it combines my passion for media and creating audio archives with photographic archives in beautiful places like this. The actual project started when, in 2008, the inspiration for it, I went across country with my parents, and my dad passed away a couple years later. And after he passed, I discovered in my hard drive at home some interviews that you had produced with my dad, and that's the only audio I have of him. And it was very moving to me because they're very personal interviews, and I combined those with the photos, and I thought this moment does not have to pass. In our lives, there's these valuable moments. And over the years, doing interviews on Latin Waves, co-producing the show, we've interviewed a lot of amazing, beautiful people who have left such a legacy, who have left us, but we still have those audio archives. So in my estimation, it's like a living memory. When you can see the picture, you can hear the audio, you can hear the incept, you can hear the authentic voice. It's a living memory. So I call it a living memory project, where we're preserving audio in the memoryportal.net. And also we can do that on a larger scale with entire communities to reserve that sense of place. What happens when we go back to a place and doesn't exist anymore the way it was? And what happens when there's no people there to tell the story? Well, we can preserve those memories and a sense of place. So that's part of it. It's a living memory project in the public installations. But the other part of it is to take people back to the land in places like this and reconnect people to the land and through a podcast I'm starting called Landscapes of Consciousness. So I think our memories are the most valuable treasure that we have. I read an article saying that when there's a house fire, people go for their photos third after they save the people and kids in the house. They're our most treasured things, and the reason is...
And pets.
Well, that's what I said.
That's their kids.
Yeah, maybe the pets before the kids.
Yeah.
But after the people and pets, they go for their photos. Why? They go because photos are a portal. They take you back in time to something very special and important, something very sacred. So I want to help you to not let that moment pass through my new project called Living Memory Art. And that's what I'm starting, and that's where I am. If you have any more questions.
And it's also important to remember that memory is not only a part of your story, we are our stories. And they also inform what we value most about our lives, what we value about this moment. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about how would people go about creating a memory portal, and what would be how would they begin the process?
Great question. Well, once you get in touch with me, you can choose a sacred memory that you have in a photographic memory. You would send it to me, and once I receive that, we'll have a meeting over the phone. We'll set up an appointment, and I'll help you create some audio that from your authentic voice. I'll record it, I'll edit it, I'll put it in a secure server. Then we send the photo, and we have it printed professionally onto canvas with a little code that links through to the audio. So if you're gifting that to someone for an anniversary or birthday, you can have preserved forever at this moment that authentic voice, which is a completely unique thing that nobody else has. And that's for you, and that's for your loved ones. I've had requests also. People have sent me like wedding vows, and I've done some editing, and they send me a wedding photo with their vows, which is really adorable. I've had grandparents want to send stuff for the grandkids. They're getting elderly, and there's things they want to preserve and say while they're still here.
Yeah, your 10 lessons to your grandchild, right?
And they pass that down. And that's very meaningful when those people are no longer with us, and you can chime in. So there's every single gift, every single one of these we produce will be completely unique. And I'll help you to get what you're feeling into the audio. I'll edit it, I'll put it in the server, we'll print it, we'll send it. And that's the individual living memory project. The public installation or public memory project will be on a larger scale.
So this is about institutions then getting in touch.
Institutions or cities or places that want to preserve their cultural heritage. Quite often you'll go to a place. My example is when you go to New Westminster, you see these beautiful photos of soldiers, thousands of young men going to fight fascism. And there's these photos of all these young men. It's very moving. And then we all remember the photo of the little boy running for his dad to grab his hand. And I'm thinking, what a stunningly visual cost of war to see that. It almost brings tears to my eyes. So how many people actually got home? But what if we had the audio of the voices of the families, of the people, of the soul? What if that was part of it? It would be completely moving. It would be even more, it would bring to life that moment in time. And that's what I'm hoping to preserve, because I think when we remember where we're from, when we remember who we are, we reconnect to what's important, and we reconnect to what's sacred, and that's how the world changes. In my own selfish way, I'm trying to manifest this in changing people, because I think the only way we can change ourselves and each other is through experience, and it's also a healing process to reconnect to these things. So, yeah.
So how would people access your work? How can they get in touch with you?
They go to memoryportal.net. There's a contact form there if you have any questions. I'll respond within a day, and we'll get the process rolling.
And what's your most profound statement about why we should attend to what matters most in our lives?
Well, I remember when I left home, and I'm sure I'm not unique in this, my parents said, don't forget where you came from. And at the time I just, that's just a cliche. It's really not. Because as years pass and we get into routines and the busyness of our lives and the rapidly changing of our communities, sometimes we forget what is sacred. Sometimes we lose what is important about ourselves. And we get so wrapped up in it. And years pass. And when we reconnect to memory, when we reconnect to ourselves and to nature and to the land, we realize truly all we have at the end of this life is our memories and our sacred thoughts and memories of the people who we've met and the places we've been. Everything else can go by the wayside. We come to this world naked with nothing, and we're going to leave that way, right? So I say, if you can connect with someone, if you can preserve something sacred in them and a memory in them, they'll never forget that, and neither will you.
Beautiful. Thank you.